What is up, coordinators and naturals? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we are going back in time and finally covering Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Astray R. Finally, we will be filling in the gaps of the Astray lore as we learn what was going on in between Gundam Seed Astray. This story will be focusing mainly on the red frame, unlike Gundam Seed Astray B, which will be focusing on Guy and the blue frame. This, along with Gundam Astray B, should completely close out everything regarding Cosmic Era 71. After that, I will create an Ultimate Cosmic Era 71 compilation. Anyways, for now, let's finally put a bow on Cosmic Era 71, and let's get into this. Our journey begins with a summary of the events of Chapter 1 of Gundam Seed Astray. I will briefly summarize for those who haven't watched the videos, but if you haven't, I would definitely recommend it. Lo is a member of the Junk Guild. He can fix almost anything. The Junk Guild receives a message that Heliopolis is under attack. Of course, this attack sets off the events of Kira's journey. When the guild goes to the now destroyed Heliopolis, Lo happens to find two mobile suits. This happens to be the Astray red frame and the Astray blue frame. As he does a diagnostics, Lo runs into Guy and Serpent's Tail. Now, one thing to note about Astray R is that we are getting a lot of inner dialogue of Lo in this. Also, as Guy steals the blue frame, we don't really see his face as we do in Astray. Early, the story is letting us know this is very much a Lo story. Pirates begin appearing, and the two go out and ward off all the danger for now. Of course, Guy goes off in the blue frame, and Lo goes off in the red frame, and the two will go on to be the bestest of buddies. Liam notes that Guy is a part of the mercenary group, Serpent's Tail. No one would dare try to fight that group. More pirates come onto their location. We cut to Portia, the pirate commander. She appeared in Astray as well, but we never referred to her by name. They are badly damaged from Lo and Guy, and must send out an SOS. The Junk Guild are looking at their newly acquired red frame. Lo goes and tags the unit with the Junk Guild logo, making it official. They also took a golden arm that they found amongst the rubble. Liam notes that these weapons are quite advanced. They seem to be similar to human shell weapons, just scaled up. This means that any mobile suit can essentially use the Astray weapons. Remember, each mobile suit, or in most cases a series of mobile suits, are essentially designed with specific connectors, which make sure they can authenticate with proper weapons. Think of the dagger as having a USB-C connection and the Jin having a Thunderbolt connection. They won't work if you put a USB-C in a Thunderbolt port. This is essentially true with mobile suits as well. The professor gets an SOS from the ship in distress. The crew thinks that it is most likely pirates pretending to be in distress. Liam suggests that there is a 99% chance that EFF cleanup crew will most likely find them. Lo wants to go save them simply because it isn't a 100% chance. I'm not sure the tone conveyed here with the face that Lo makes to Liam. I am pretty sure this is conveyed as Lo with a sense of determination. The onomatopoeia at the bottom is girodi, which means someone staring at you. But the artwork makes him seem more sinister, which seems out of character. Unless it is an ironic stare, but a sense of irony seems to be the antithesis in many ways to Japanese pride, so I doubt it. What do you think about this moment? They go out and help. The home meets up with Portia and her team. Of course they are pretending to be citizens. She tells Lo that pirates attack them. Lo mentions his mobile suit, and Portia wants to check it out. Kisato tells Lo that he shouldn't be talking about the mobile suit. But of course he wants to show off. Later, they are attacked by another pirate ship. Of course, Portia called in reinforcements and told them of the mobile suit. The pirates demand to hand over the red frame. The Junk Guild all look at Lo for putting them in this obvious situation. Lo says they have to move fast, and he starts scheming. Lo knows that if he just launches in the red frame, he will be attacked and destroyed. He has to make a distraction. While the pirates are waiting, the Junk Guild sends out something, but the pirates aren't sure what it is. It just so happens to be a ball of junk with the gold frame's arm attached to it, holding the red frame's beam rifle. The beam rifle starts firing, confirming to the pirates that it is the mobile suit. The pirates fire another beam rifle on the home, but the home uses its shield arms to deflect the attack. The home starts flinging junk out into space using its crane arm. Of course, Lo in the red frame is hiding inside the Junk Guild. He bursts out rushing towards the pirate's ship. He takes out his beam saber and tears through the hull of the ship. The pirate ship begins losing oxygen. They surrender. Lo is confused as he barely did anything yet. He looks back to see he is a lot more damaged than he thought. He still doesn't have full control over the red frame. It seems that Liam was the one that was operating the trash ball and arm. They go to the pirate's ship and help fix it up. Of course, they charge the pirates for the parts they used. I love that the Junk Guild always helps people that attack them, but then forces them to buy parts off of them. The pirates regret attacking this idiot. Lo is using a Jin sword that he found, while Kisato in the Chimera holds up a piece of junk for the red frame to slice through. Lo is using a Jin sword that he found, while Kisato, in the Chimera, is holding up a piece of junk for the red frame to slice through. Lo notes that the Jin sword is very heavy and requires the use of force and gravity to do any damage. The sword isn't working out for him, and he doesn't want to rely on beam sabers after the incident with the pirates. He didn't like how much energy he used when using his beam sabers and wants something more efficient. On top of that, he did more damage than he wanted to do. He names his new mobile suit the red frame and calls guys the blue frame. Kisato says this must be a part of the gold frame and asks if they should sell it. Lo does the Drake meme 20 years before Drake. On the bridge, Liam is doing research on sword tech for mobile suits. The professor comes on the bridge wearing essentially nothing and distracts the crew. Liam looks up the graveyard. It was a place where a bunch of artisans migrated from Earth. The professor comes in and says it is the Gerbera Astray, a sword made in the graveyard. Liam pulls up data on the sword. The professor says she knows this information from an informant. They head out to the graveyard. They have very old data that says 100 people currently live there, but that is most likely out of date. They enter to see junk everywhere. Kisato joins Lo and Liam because she says the sword looks pretty. As they head out, someone sends a communication asking what they want. Lo says that he wants the Gerbera Astray. The mysterious man assumes that they are thieves. Lo looks up to see a Baku with an old man on top of its head. He moves swiftly, slicing off Liam's Chimera arm. Lo tells him they just want to talk. The old man calls out to Denpachi, his dog, who is currently piloting the Baku. You heard that correctly. Can bipedal animals pilot bipedal mobile suits in the Cosmic Era? I have so many questions. The Junk Guild decides to bail, but the Baku chases. On top of that, there are traps placed everywhere. Their data on this place is very outdated, Liam notes. They run through a labyrinth where they run into a minigame. The ceiling closes down on them as someone has to do a puzzle on the wall. They jump through, barely making it. The old man is watching and notes that these people are not ordinary bandits. They run into a literal graveyard, and there they find the Gerbera Astray, beaten and broken. The old man comes in and tells them that he's been watching. Liam asks about the graves. The old man tells them that the graveyard was once a flourishing place full of generations of artists who passed down their skills. But over time, their craft became obsolete. The people actually migrated, but the graves are actually data files. Each data file contained that individual's craft, left there for someone, anyone, to actually pass down their skills. The man is just waiting to die and says they are out of luck. But Lo, being Lo, says that he will learn how to fix the Gerbera Astray and asks the old man if he could teach them the way of the blade. The old man calls him an idiot. I'm starting to see a pattern here. The old man and Lo are training with swords. We learn that the old man's name is No, aka the last survivor on the graveyard. Lo is getting impatient with his training methods. No tells him that the Jin sword relies on its weight to do damage, but a katana is lighter and with precision has the ability to cut through a target with a single slice. Lo asks him to teach him some secret techniques. He calls Lo an idiot who needs to learn how to slice before learning a special move. While this is happening, Liam and 8 are monitoring his movements and applying it to the red frame. Meanwhile, out in space, the informant, Kenneth Lucchini, is giving information on the Junk Guild, the home, and the red frame to a series of mercs that just go by Merc 1, Merc 2, and Merc 3. Kenneth says that Kisato may be useful to them. Back at the graveyard, Lo is working on forging the sword, but No tells him that it isn't sharp enough. He continues working on the sword. The old man notes that Lo learns at extremely fast speeds. The professor urges Kisato to go help Lo. As she goes out in the Chimera, she accidentally crashes. They tell Kisato that they can handle it without her. She feels useless, and we get a flashback of her being clumsy and antisocial. She feels like she is a burden. While wallowing in self-doubt, a Jin comes in and captures her. No says that this attempt is close, but it is still not at the level of the original sword. Suddenly, the 3 Jins come in with Kisato as a hostage. They want the red frame. Lo tells Kisato that he is going to save her. He is holding the Gerbera Astray. Lo squares his shoulders, and No notes that he currently has a perfect fighting stance. He goes in with the quickness and slices directly through the Jin, just as No taught him. Kisato falls, and the 2 other Jins retreat out of fear. Lo tells Kisato that she isn't a burden, but she yells at him for almost slicing him with the Gerbera Astray. The 2 squabble. Meanwhile, Kenneth is watching the whole thing go down. He says that Lo might be very useful to him. And that will do it for this episode. Lowe's determination and his "if it is stupid and it works, it ain't stupid" attitude really makes Lowe a compelling protagonist and more relatable than Jesus. That's right, I said it. Lowe is better than Kira. Fight me, bitch. In our next episode, the Junk Guild will head out to Junia 7 and we will run into Lacus Klein. Also, we will finally see Guy and his perspective as he fights with the remaining mercs. But that will do it for now, coordinators. Remember, if you are a part of a crew, you probably aren't a burden. Peace.